Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Fulioth and welcome back to another episode on the Just Vanilla server. Right, I'm on the Jungle Island again today, and we've made quite a lot of progress in the trading hall and so on and so forth. So let me just go and show you that before we crack on with today's main project. And today I want to get started on the villager breeder, which we're going to build all the way up there. That little platform right at the top above the iron farm. So if I just show you what we've done down in the trading hall. Excellent. I've stuck in. You might remember this was just a narrow entrance. We had a piston door in here which just wasn't secured. It just had a button on it. Well, I've put in these levers. To sort of resemble a jungle temple, or more resemble a jungle temple, and it's codable, so obviously you can change the code, but the code at the moment is that. Don't tell anybody. I don't want anybody coming in here. Press the button, hipster door goes down, over the push plates, door goes back up again, and we're into here. We did think about putting a lot more mossy cobble in here, and more of the bricks that look like a jungle temple, but to be honest it didn't look very good. We weren't happy with the finish, so we came back to this, which we're happy with. We've still got to do the ceiling, but we're happy with this, and we're happy that everything works now. Even when Smurf's pressing buttons, we've got it working. So now it's time to get some villagers in here. Love that door. Got to close it before you change the code. Change the code. Door doesn't work. How good is that? So I've got a chest full of stuff all the way at the top, and I've also linked up one of the nether portals, so we can get up there via a nether portal. We don't have to keep wasting rockets. Still wasting food though. What we're going to do as well is link up the farms through to the back, through to the trading hall, but we're also going to link up the potatoes and fire those up to the top. We're going to feed the villagers using potatoes, and it's going to be a fully self-contained, fully automatic villager breeder. It's going to be switchable as well. We're going to be able to turn it on and off. So, and hopefully, all things considered, it should be able to make a baby every minute, every 1 minute 30. I mean, it is. I'm so excited. I've been working on it for ages, and I'm so excited to show you. So I ought to stop talking about it, didn't I? And crack on, get up there. So we're going to build it on this, and this is 64, sorry, it's not, it's 30 blocks above the iron farm. This particular section of it, I think it's 40 blocks above the doors on the iron farm. So it puts this platform just out of range of the village around the iron farm. This, as you know, with iron farms, you need to create a village. And the village is down there where the doors are. This is 40 blocks away from the village, so it puts it outside the range of that village. So all the villagers that are going to be breeding are going to be in here. And then another 32 blocks above is going to be the villager that is going to generate all of these, is going to make all of these villagers breed. He's going to be the guy up there with the doors. Anyway, I'll explain that as I go along. So firstly, I'm going to need some blocks. We're going to use stone again, because that seems to fit the theme of what we're doing. And the villager itself is going to have 12 breeding pairs. And they're going to be there and there, there and there, 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 not there. There, there. So they're just temporary blocks actually. They're going to be stood on top of these pillars. And there's going to be water in the middle. that's going to flush them to the centre of the platform. So the little babies are going to be born. They're going to fall off into the middle. They're going to fall down, and we're going to transport them off somewhere else. So now I need to put some glass panes around all of these. Do I have any glass panes? I'm hoping Smurf's put some in this box. If he hasn't, I've got to go off and make some glass panes. He hasn't. Maybe I'll use that black. I'll use the black. We're going to use black glass anyway. Makes it very difficult to see, in fairness. Right, we want a temporary block on top of there. You know, my temporary block being dirt. I always use dirt as my temporary block, and for some reason I don't have any. I've thrown it all out so I can clear my inventory, so I don't have to keep throwing things out. Ironic, really, isn't it? I've thrown it out so I don't have to throw it out, and now I wish I'd not thrown it out. Right, these temporary blocks are just there so I can put some glass panes in, because these are going to hold the water in the middle. It'll be clearer when I've done it. And that one. Now we can break the cobble, and all that should be left is panes of glass that will hold the water in place when we put the water up there. And the villagers are going to stand in this water, and they're going to bob up and down. I find it more effective than having them stood on fence posts. We could have had them stood on fence posts, their heads would be sticking up above the glass, but I found the fact that they bob up and down, it makes it easy for them to feed each other. So now, grab my bucket. If I put some water in there, it stays there, and I need to I'll put some glass around the top. And that'll be where the villagers stand. So let me just lob some water, let me just put some glass around the top. Save you waiting, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we've got the glass in, around, we've got the first layer of glass in anyway, around. And then now when we put the water in there, when the babies are born, they'll fall out the sides. So I've got my infinite water source ready. Before I start putting water in though, just want to stick the dispensers, the droppers around here. So we need a dropper over every hole. Dropper there. Dropper there. Which way round do I want this facing? Probably lengthways. So we want a dropper there. One there. There. One there. There. Come on. There, finally there. Brilliant. Now behind that, we're going to need some slabs. Behind every one of those, we need some slabs. I tell you what, my elytra control is pants. We must be, what level are we on? 159. Sea level's what, 62-ish, 63? I've fallen off here, I don't know how many times. Spam space, repeatedly, and I've still hit the water. So me and elytra control are just non-existent. So that there and there. Right, so that goes there. Now I need some hoppers going into each one of these droppers. Do I want that from the outside or the inside, or doesn't it make a difference? I don't suppose it makes a lot of difference, does it? One there and one there. These have to be pointing into the droppers, obviously. Okay, right, we're getting somewhere. That there. Now I need to join up these slabs because we're going to have some rails running around the outside here. Right, now at the back, on the slab at the back of every one of these droppers, we need a detector rail. That's actually going to fire that dropper. Even though it's not directly attached to it, it still powers it. Right, and depending on which way around we want the minecart to go, I don't suppose it makes a great deal of difference. Let's just say we want it to go clockwise, so before every one of those then, after every one of those we want a powered rail. And that means every time that the minecart goes over the detector rail, it's going to power the powered rail. So we don't need any additional power up here, it's sort of self-powering. Right, and then in the corners, obviously we need normal rails. And just here, we're going to have a normal rail as well. Here we can have a detector rail to add a little bit more power after being around the corner. Normal rail there, normal rail there. Got enough room in there for a detector and a powered. And then the corner. Now we need to start filling the rest of this in with glass. So I've got to fill the rest in with glass to stop the villagers from being able to jump out. And then it's time to think about getting villagers in. So I'll be back when I've just tarted it up a little bit, filled it with glass to sort of make it secure. Okay, so I've got the rest of the glass in, and I've replaced the rails, which I forgot to bring up in the first place. So this is all working as it should now. So when I put a minecart down on it, I've got to be careful because if I fall in, I'm going to have to start breaking things. And when you've got water and everything, you don't want to be jumping in and breaking things. I've got jump 2 as well on my beacon, which is a godsend. If you're ever building anything, put jump 2 on your beacon. It's a lifesaver. Right, so which way round are these boys going? They're going that way round. They'll go in that way round. There you go. And you can hear it clicking, obviously, every time it goes over the detector rail, over the dropper, it clicks and it fires something out. But also, if there's something in the minecart, it'll drop it off in the hopper as well. And the idea being, the potatoes are going to get shot up here using one of the item elevators, and they're going to get deposited into the minecart. And then the minecart's going to go around and drop a potato in each hopper, which is going to find its way into the dropper, and the next time it goes round, it's going to fire the dropper, spitting it out into the villagers that are going to be down there, whilst also depositing another potato. So after a few rounds, there's going to be enough food in there to feed the villagers and keep them breeding. And I'll set that up with some kind of timer or switch as well, so we can turn this off if we want to. There's no point wasting food if we don't need to. But the idea now being is that it's infinite. That'll keep going indefinitely, feeding the villagers and keeping them all fed and happy and keeping them breeding. So now we need to go up 32 blocks and create the platform where the doors are going to go. So 1, 2... 32, so we've come up to here, 32, and then it's just a basic platform that we're going to have up here for the doors to go on, like we've got in the like I've got on the island in the quad pod, really. 1, 2, 3, and I think in the middle as well, and I don't have one on me, but in the middle we're going to have a piston with some glowstone on it. and when that pops up, the doors are going to be valid, and when it's down, the doors aren't going to be valid. So now we need to get a villager up here. I think the easiest way to do that is if I build... I wonder if I could put it over this way. If I build the portal out over this way, maybe I can set up another portal in the nether. Maybe. 2, 3. And I need to build another one now at minus 621, 457. 621, 457. You see that's here. I don't know whether that might be a little bit too close. I mean, literally, it's this one here. It's very close. We'll stick one here and see if it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, booyah! But I'm not holding my breath, actually. Not holding my breath. It's just going to work, but here goes. Here goes nothing. No. A little bit too close. I thought it might be. Actually, I'm going to have to turn that off, though. It's going to drive me crazy while I'm up here. But anyway, I need to, so to get a villager up there, I'm going to have to turn this one off and then get the villager up the top, which is probably going to be the next job. What I also want to do, and I'm going to need some help doing this, is we're going to set up a temporary, I don't believe that, what did I say? How many times have I said, be careful, because if I fall in there, I'm going to have to break it. It's using black stone. Using black glass, it's impossible to see. What we're going to do is set up a temporary villager breeder down here, just a little one, a little baby one. It's only got the 2 villagers in it, and that should breed us enough villagers to put in here. But for me to do that, I'm going to need some help, so I've got to go off and enlist the help of Smurf again, wherever he might be. So I'm going to chip off, find Smurf, and I'll join you back here in a second. Okay, I've not been able to find Smurf. He's off busy doing other things, so I've decided to try and get these villagers up there myself. So I've been back off to my base and I've got a villager, a little nitwit from my base, and I'm hoping to get him through here. And we'll get him over by the doors. Oh, my little nitwit. Go on then, little nitwit. Let's have you through. Well, I've got him through, and now Smurf's here, so we're in trouble. We might just push each other off, but I'm hoping he'll just make his way to the end. I suppose with Smurf there, I might not push him off that side. I'm hoping he'll see the doors and then run towards them. Man, this villager pushing. I thought I'd done enough villager pushing. Clearly I haven't. Ta-da! Excellent. Brilliant. So I think we'll go off and get ourselves another villager, and hopefully by the time I come back and see you, we'll have 2 down there on that platform, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so we've got the breeding pair above us. We've got the guy with the doors right up the top there, and the breeding pair just up there in the temporary breeder. And they've started doing this stuff, and we've started getting villagers down here. So we've started to populate the main breeder, which is fantastic, and they've been doing really well. We've got a couple of. There's another guy. We've had a couple of farmers. We've had a couple of librarians. At the moment, we've not kept any of them. This guy here can go down. We can get him down now. Try not to put them in the same pods just yet, because they may well have been fed. We did throw some bread down there, not bread, some potatoes to them earlier on, and then we decided against getting these guys to breed while they're up there, because we want to be able to manage them. We want to get these into these pods individually without babies running all over the place. So we stopped feeding them, and it seems it's working. It's taken it's taken about half an hour so far, maybe a little bit longer. The guys at the top are doing their best. We're having a baby roughly every 5 minutes or so, 5 or 6 minutes. And it won't take me long to get these populated up, and then we can start with the fun. We can start getting the main distribution centre, and we think we're going to have them transfer. The babies, when they're born, will fall down into the stone brick down at the bottom there, and then we think we're going to funnel them off over the back. If we say that's the front where the iron golems fall down, that's the side where the main area is at the moment. This is the back. So we'll have them going off over the back, then they'll fall down there somewhere, and then they'll go into the minecart tracks, which is just to the right of the creeper farm down there. And it goes over there and then along there and then into the trading hall through the back. So we think we're going to fire them off over that way, and we're working on a way of getting them down there at the moment. We may well incorporate slime blocks. I think that'll be good fun if we get the babies down and then fire them out on slime blocks into some kind of hole. Anyway, it's a job for messing about with later. But at the moment, all is going well. However, we've run out of time, everybody. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please don't forget to leave it a like, and if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future videos. This is Fully Off, and I'm out of here.